Hello, Nunu2 here, and welcome back to the ever-growing world of my Digimon headcanons and what ifs. I am ready for this video. I took like a week or so off of recording, but I'm ready to go. I got my script ready. I got my presentation ready. I'm wearing Mother's merch, the Broski report. Watch it, obviously. But yeah, today I wanted to look at a topic that has been mentioned a few times now. We are taking the two-partner Digimon idea we did for the 01 crew and applying it to the 02 kit. So we will be exploring what would happen if each of the second set of DigiDestined had two partners instead of one. Now, this time we have a smaller sample size, but we have new Evo types to sift through. Some ground rules. Each DigiDestined will maintain their original partner with his original evolution line, but they will now have a second all-new partner with their own Evo line to boot. This second partner will be a lot more freeform than our previous video, so no requirement this time around to evolve from the same baby. I also tried to pick mons that I felt worked aesthetically or played into other aspects of the character or story. As with all my videos, this is purely my own personal opinions, and you may completely disagree, but that's fine. The beauty of Digimon is how random and varied the evolutions can be. It's constantly breaking its own rules, so why can't we? Anywho, let's start with our easier kids this time around. Kari. Kari's path will seem familiar to anyone who has seen the previous video in this series. We've given her the second partner of Bombaymon, which is the name I gave Black Gumdramon. As I've said before, I don't love names denoting of just color. Now, let's move on to the fun part, Digivolution. Things are going to go a tad bit different this time around. As the second season of Digimon Adventure begins, none of our heroes' partners are able to reach champion form due to the Black Spires. But they are able to reach a new kind of level through Armor Digivolution. Kari, bearing the Crest of Light, naturally obtains the Digi-Egg of Light. This, as we all know, allows Gumdramon to become Nefertimon, a personal favorite of mine whom I adored in the show when I was a kid. But what of Bombaymon? Originally, I planned to have them both use the Digi-Egg of Light, which still works, but it could also be cool if Kari received the Digi-Egg of Shadows, something to reflect her light and even play into her connection with the Dark Ocean. Well, either way, I figured Bombaymon could Digivolve to Dark Maildramon. Now, I did love having her become a different dark variant as she begins as, a variant of Gumdramon. Plus, this specific dark variant is a variant of another armor evolution, so it felt perfect for me. Now, I'm going to retread some ground with these two for continuity's sake. Of course, after the Dark Spires are removed, the gang regains their ability to Digivolve naturally. This, of course, leads to our pair becoming Angelomon and Lady Devimon. And, as we all know by now, this feuding pair feuds no more, and DNA Digivolves to Mastamon, a classic. So this time around, Kari's partners, Gumdramon and Bombaymon, will use the Digi-Egg of Light, and maybe even the Digi-Egg of Shadows, to become Nefertimon and Dark Maildramon, respectively. Then they'll follow their natural route to Angelomon and Lady Devimon, and finally come together to form Mastamon. Now we have one more 01 kid to revisit. TK is back and better than ever. I stand by my notion that he or Kari should have been the Gogglehead of this season, but I digress. Again, we know part of this story already. Not only is he joined by his usual partner Patamon, but also Tsukaimon. Our perfect little opposite for Patamon will of course return. TK will of course gain the power of the Digi-Egg of Hope, and Patamon will armor Digivolve to Pegasusmon. Another solid mon that shows the best version of what an armor Evo should be, at least what I think. I personally, and this is something I know other YouTubers share sentiment of, specifically I know Carney X has brought this up before, I think that when looking at armor Evos, you should be able to tell that it is the original Pokemon, the original Digimon under the armor, as well as the aspects of the armor should be in play here. And so we'll go over some changes I've made here shortly, but anyways, yes. Now, I also think maybe he could get a second egg, kind of like we did for Kari. We could call it like the Digi-Egg of Realism or something to oppose hope. Pessimism, I don't want it to be overtly negative. I think that it would be something that is to combat hope, but not the pure opposite. I don't know. But anyways, this new egg, or the Egg of Hope, would allow Tsukaimon to armor Digivolve to Selenomon. This Harpymon recolor is a perfect armor form for Sukkaimon. I debated on trying to find another quad-petaled mon like I did for Kari, but I honestly like this more. I used the name Seleno as it was the name of a harpy in mythology that kept popping up when I was doing research, and honestly I like the name of it. The sound of Selenomon, just, it works really well. Now, buckle up for some major retreading here. Once again, you know, we are revisiting something that I completely covered in the last video. So, once they regain the ability to naturally digivolve, Patamon will once again become Angemon, while Sukkaimon will become Devimon once more. Since Patamon is allowed to reach Ultimate in the 02 anime, it only fits that it happens here as well. So, Angemon will, of course, digivolve to Holy Angemon. And as we discussed in our prior video, Devimon will digivolve to Neo Devimon. These two will join forces, again, to DNA Digivolve to Lucemon. Like I said before, it's such an easy concept that I'm happy we went with for TK's partners. When all is said and done, Patamon and Sukkaimon will use the Digi-Egg of Hope and maybe the Digi-Egg of Realism to armor Digivolve to Pegasusmon and Selenomon. Then, through natural means, Patamon and Sukkaimon will Digivolve to Angemon and Devimon, then Holy Angemon and Neo Devimon, and then finally they will DNA Digivolve to Lucemon. I know I kind of breezed through the larger parts of Kari and TK's lines here, but if you want a more in-depth explanation of them and to see Kari's rookie forms, please watch the prior video in this series. Honestly, I think it's like the #1 Digimon video I've done on this channel. I really enjoyed it, and it's just, I know, it's fun. But anyways, enough of that, on to the Gogglehead. Now, let's get into some real new territory. Davis is of course partnered with the adorable and sweet Vmon, but who to choose for a second partner? I went with Gumdramon here. I know this mon was a main partner in a later series, but since said series didn't focus on traditional evolution as much, at least if I'm recalling correctly, I figured it'd be alright. Plus, I like him. He looks like a cool Digimon who is similar to Vmon while still maintaining a difference there. So, yeah, that's what I did. Now, we know Davis gets both the Digi-Egg of Courage and Friendship, getting 2 as most of the other kids get, so here is how this is going to work moving forward. Instead of Vmon evolving with both, each partner will get 1 egg to use. So, with the Digi-Egg of Courage, Vmon will still become Flamedramon. But for Gumdramon, I went a different route. I felt that the Digi-Egg of Friendship was misused in the original anime. And I don't say that because I dislike Raidramon. We'll get into it a little bit more, but I truly feel like it didn't go the route that I think any of us expected it to go. So, this Digi-Egg will allow Gumdramon to armor Digivolve to Blademon. This time around, I recolored Rinkmon, another armor Evo. If this were a perfect world, the little blue that is present on the Digi-Egg of Friendship would be purple instead for this alternate timeline. I always felt that the Crest of Friendship was more or less associated with ice and not lightning, if at all. Lightning felt so random, but trust, I do love Raidramon, I just didn't feel he fit here. However, we got another exception. Davis does temporarily gain access to the Digi-Egg of Miracles at least twice, so Vmon will still be armor digivolving into Magnamon, a genuinely solid Evo that I have always really liked. Gumdramon, however, allows me to fold in a recently slighted Digimon, I guess you could say, so he will armor digivolve to Electromon. That's right, I recolored Raidramon so I could use him in a much more fitting place, at least in my opinion. I know a lot of you might not like this, so let me know if there's a different Digimon that would fit here, or even a recolor idea you like better. Just do it nicely, please. I will cry and make everybody uncomfortable. Now, once the Black Spires have been dealt with, Vmon will still digivolve to XVmon. Again, one of my faves and just a solid champion design. But Gumdramon will also take on a kind of standard-ish Evo for himself. I'll be using a Restordramon here for his champion form. Now, at least according to the Wikimon listing, this works as both a Mega form and champion form. So we'd maybe make him slightly less impressive for the case of the story, but I digress. Now, on to the real fun one. Like our group before, these duos will DNA Digivolve, but this time to make a powerful ultimate form. Does that leave a power disparity between the 01 and 02 kids? Yeah, but that's kind of already the case? I don't know, but if you guys have an idea for their mega forms, whether it's plain evolution or DNA digivolving even further, more armors, just, let me know. Let me know in the comments and just kind of, give me some ideas. I'm happy to kind of revisit this too. But yes, X-Vmon and Retreading will DNA digivolve to Arthurianmon. So, all of these DNA forms are going to be recolors. I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. As you guys know, I love doing recolors, and this was a perfect excuse and reason to do it. This one specifically is a recolor of Dorbikmon. I chose the name Arthurianmon as Dorbikmon is believed to be a reference to the sword in the stone, so I went kind of a similar direction. At least I probably should have double checked that the sword in the stone was from Arthurian legend, so hopefully that's true. Anyways, I really like how he turned out. If I really wanted to change it more, I'd probably make the sword out of like lightning or energy instead of fire, but I'm not that good at this. So either way, I think it looks awesome. So Vmon will use the Digi-Egg of Courage to become Flamedramon, while Gumdramon will use the Digi-Egg of Friendship to become Blademon. They will both use the Digi-Egg of Miracles to become Magnamon and Electromon. Through natural means, Vmon and Gumdramon will reach champion form, becoming X-Vmon and Retreading, respectively. They will then come together to DNA Digivolve to Arthurianmon. This one was our most complicated, so I'm happy I got it out of the way first. This one's slightly less complicated, still a little bit more, but on to the Zuko of this season. Our boy Ken is of course partnered with Wormmon, the goodest boy, but I think he wouldn't begin with his second partner like the others. I think it would be after beginning his path to redemption, that is when he would encounter his second partner, Kabuterimon. I wanted another insectoid mon and something that gives a nod to his own intelligence, so this could kind of reference Izzy in a way. Now, here's another DigiDestined who didn't technically get 2 eggs. Or did he technically get 2 eggs? I decided alongside the Digi-Egg of Kindness that Ken would also have permanent access to the Digi-Egg of Miracles. Since the Digi-Egg of Miracles is, in a way, a special form of the Digi-Egg of Kindness, it kind of felt right to me. That being said, I have complicated things further. I'll be frank, I don't love Wormmon's usual armor forms, so I took some liberties and he will instead armor Digivolve into Pudomon. Yeah, I just recolored Puchimon. Big shock, I know. It just made more sense to me for this armor form to not only look like it's at least related to Wormmon, but also I wanted to incorporate the pinks that are on the Digi-Egg of Kindness as opposed to the red or the blatant green from the other one. But yeah, alongside that, Kabuterimon will use the Digi-Egg of Miracles to become Kongomon. This is actually the same form Wormmon takes with the Digi-Egg of Miracles, so I'm cheating a bit, but honestly it works way better for Kabuterimon. Obviously, these two will have to reach champion, so for Wormmon, we are going to go our usual route and become Stingmon. A genuinely phenomenal design, to be honest, and for Kabuterimon, I decided to have him Digivolve to Blitzmon. Not only is this Evo implied to be the standard in the card game, but it also just gives similar vibes to Stingmon while remaining different enough to justify it. As per usual though, we ain't done. Stingmon and Blitzmon will join forces to DNA Digivolve to Venomon. This recolor of Tiger Vespamon was a hard one for me to land on, but I ended up really liking it. I also feel like the swords kind of work as Stingmon's stingers, while the energy around them is similar to the energy Blitzmon uses to fight. But yeah, so I love it. Wormmon will use the Digi-Egg of Kindness to armor Digivolve to Pudomon, while Kabuterimon will use the Digi-Egg of Miracles to become Kongomon. They will both reach champion form eventually, becoming Stingmon and Blitzmon. Lastly, the pair will DNA Digivolve to Venomon to finish out this line. I realized too, I don't think I mentioned why I renamed Puchimon to Pudomon. So Puchimon is supposed to be a reference to Pooty, which is a type of Cupid being, and another, the actual kind of general phrase for cherubs of that type are Pudos. So that's why I went Pudomon. That's the only thing. But anyways, enough of that. On to our headstrong pilot. Yoli will still have the dependable Hawkmon by her side, but this time around, Floramon will also join the mix. This not only works as a good mirror for Mimi, but also slides into the armor form I have planned really well. Yoli is entrusted with the powers of the Digi-Egg of Love and the Digi-Egg of Sincerity. Using the Digi-Egg of Love, Hawkmon will armor Digivolve to Halsamon, which is obviously no surprise, but Floramon will use the Digi-Egg of Sincerity to become not Shurimon, but Kabukimon. I mean, come on. It's got flowers. It's pretty. It's a certified Sincerity Evo. It just works. It's also one of my favorite Evos. I know it's technically for Gatomon, but it doesn't look like it. And either way, it's, you know, whatever. We're playing with fire here. Gatomon, I mean, come on. That whole line is crazy, so it doesn't matter here. Once her future husband joins the side of good, Hawkmon and Floramon will finally be able to digivolve into their champion forms, becoming Aquilamon. Aquilamon? I think I have this argument with myself every time. But anyways, Aquilamon and Kiwimon. I wanted to throw in a bird element without losing the whole plant thing. Plus, Kiwimon is just such a solid champion form, when made large at least. I think Kiwimon in this instance would be the size of XVmon, if not bigger. Honestly, I'd even be cool with it being the size of, like, Greymon. I think that'd be really cool, actually. Now, these two crazy kids will, of course, come together at some point. Aquilamon and Kiwimon will DNA Digivolve to Paradicemon. Yet another recolor, this time of Crowmon. Paradicemon mixes the plant-like elements of Kiwimon with the avian Aquilamon's stature and flight. I chose the name Paradicemon to reference the flower called the Bird of Paradise, which are flowers whose petals resemble the bodies of birds. I considered Tauropiamon, but I felt it was more dinosaur-like, and also I wanted another recolor, so yeah. Hawkmon will use the Digi-Egg of Love, while Floramon will use the Digi-Egg of Sincerity. The two of them will armor Digivolve to Halsamon and Kabukimon. When able, they will then take on their champion forms, Aquilamon and Kiwimon. Then, when the time is right, the two of them will come together to DNA Digivolve to Paradicemon. Honestly, I just love the way this line looks. Like, genuinely, the color coordination here is everything I've ever wanted. It's even bringing in all the parts of her outfit. I'm very happy with this. But enough of that. On to Cody. Cody's buddy Armadillomon will still remain his partner, but as his friends before him, he needs just one more partner. Swimon is that partner. We all know by now that I love aquatic Digimon, and this allows us to give a solid nod to Joe as well. Everyone wins. While Armadillomon will harness the power of the Digi-Egg of Knowledge, Swimon will utilize the Digi-Egg of Reliability. Digimon, one of my favorite armor evos, by the way, will still be the form that Armadillomon will take, but I have Swimon armor digivolving to Tylomon. This mon is so cool and honestly badass looking to boot. Plus, it is a canon reliability evo, so it's perfect. Now, I am looking at this now and kind of wishing I did some recoloring a little bit, maybe flipped the dark blue to purple, but it is what it is. Let's talk champion forms now. Obviously, Armadillomon will still become Ankylomon, but what about Swimon? I bounce back and forth between a lot of Digimon because I just love all the fish ones, but I finally landed on Swimon digivolving to Sealamon. I ended up going with a big, bulky champion to kind of complement Ankylomon. Another mon we really only see in antagonistic roles, so I think it'd be cool to have it as an addition to the team. Also, I do believe it's pronounced Sealamon because I think the fish is called a coelacanth. Growing up, I called it a coelacanth because I played Animal Crossing and that's the only place I ever saw it. But I believe it's a coelacanth, which means this is Sealamon. Anyways, Ankylomon and Sealamon will then DNA Digivolve to Lobstermon. Oh, I loved this one. I love this question. No, I absolutely love this one. This Gusokomon recolor perfectly combined the two mons to make a menacing and powerful ultimate form for them. It's probably obvious, but Lobstermon's name is just a combination of the words lobster and terror. Genius, I know, but save your applause for the end. This leaves Cody with the following partner lines. Armadillomon will use the Digi-Egg of Knowledge to armor Digivolve to Digmon, while Swimmon uses the Digi-Egg of Reliability to become Tylomon. Naturally, the two will take on their champion forms, Ankylomon and Sealamon. Then the two will DNA Digivolve into their new ultimate form, Lobstermon. Damn, do I love doing these videos. I genuinely enjoy doing the research and, of course, the recolors and edits. But there you have it. This is what I imagine would happen if the second set of DigiDestined were given 2 partners instead of 1. Let me know what you think, or if you had other ideas for swaps or lines or different partners here. As always, if you like my content or this video in particular, please subscribe, like, and or comment. Also free to check out my TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter linked below. Beneath that, you'll find a link invite to our Discord channel, so feel free to hop on in and join the 282. Thanks again for watching though, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye! I just want more fish. I want more fish, more aquatic Digimon. I also want a bigger variety of bug Digimon. You want to know what we don't need? More fucking dinosaurs. Chill with the dinosaurs and the dragons. We're done.